Happy morning, students. Today we are going to appreciate nature in the words of William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth is a nature poet. You might have known about him, who is the whole English literature know who was he. But even though I want to tell you who is William Wordsworth in a few lines, in a few sentences, he is a major English poet. Note this word. He is a major English poet with Samuel Taylor Coleridge, who is, in short, we call S.T. Coleridge. He is best friend of William Wordsworth, and two joined in a collaborator to launch Lyrical Ballads. Lyrical Ballads is another major work in English literature, you might have known, and he worked as, actually he was Britain's poet laureate. Then his famous and popular works are Daffodils, The Solitary Reaper, To the Cuckoo, Tables Turned, Tintin Abbey. These are some of the famous phenomenal work of Wordsworth. But today, what is our title? Our title, Lines Written in Early Spring. See, when we say this line, it gives a mild pleasure while reading these words, right? Lines written in early spring. Spring is a beautiful word, and what he has stored in it. See, before we going to read the poem and poetic lines, we must know the background. We must know the background of this poem, Lines Written in Early Spring. That is, Wordsworth is looking around him at the natural world, and as he admires its beauty, its nature's beauty, he realizes how ugly humanity is in comparison. Actually, he compares human and nature. Obviously, he likes nature only. He always appreciates nature only. That is why he called a nature poet. But here, why he says ugly humanity? It's nothing. There was, in that period, war happened. It was a war. See, in case if it is a war, every humans or not only kills human or animals but also kills nature. They're exploiting nature. See, if I kill somebody, they'll take a revenge at me, on me, and they kill me. Not only me, and always my plant, my cows, my pet, who are the family members, whoever it is. See, is one. It was not a one-to-one, man-to-man. It was a whole nature, all humanity in the name of war exploit nature. Okay, he's noted that nature poet, and one side humans are exploiting nature in a bad way. Now how he could feel, right? He could feel very bad and very sad. That is why he want to say, he just want to appreciate nature with a special vision, and he has written in this line. Let's see the first stanza. See, there are 6 stanzas are there. Each stanza have a profound concept of nature. The first one is, I heard 1,000 blended notes while in a grove I sat reclined. Here, grove means, it is like a forest, that is a group of trees, garden, whatever it is. Then sit means sat, that means reclined means leaning position, sit relaxedly, right? So I heard 1,000. Who has written this line? William Wordsworth heard 1,000 blended notes. 1,000 means different variety of melody. Blended means it's all joined. Notes means music, voice. So I heard 1,000 blended notes while in a grove I sat reclined in that sweet mood. While hearing that sweet voice, melodious sound, in that sweet mood, when pleasant thoughts bring sad thoughts to the mind. Actually, he must have thought about on hearing all those beautiful melodies in the greenery scenes. Yes, he seated, it might be bring the pleasant thoughts, but those scenes bring sad thoughts to the mind. Why the sad thoughts? That is, humans are exploiting nature, it's destroy those are destroy the nature. That is why by looking at, on looking nature, it not gives a pleasant thought, pleasant thoughts, but it brings sad thoughts to the mind, to the minds of William Wordsworth. Once again, I heard 1,000 blended notes while in a grove I sat reclined, in that sweet mood when pleasant thoughts bring sad thoughts to the mind. Once again, so the poem begins with a lovely description of something melodious, that even the speaker can imagine, the reader can imagine and enjoys. Then next, go through the second stanza. To her fair works, her means here nature. Nature is, it called as a she, female. To her fair work, we used to call mother nature, so female, she. To her fair works did nature link the human soul that through me ran, and much it grieved my heart to think what man has made of man. That is important. See, you must have understood the last line of the second stanza. What man has made of man, what man did for man. That is what the concept. So, look at the lines. To her fair works. To her fair works means beautiful. See, these, that is the personification of nature demonstrated usually as a feminine. That is one more thing. Because of a beautiful work, beautiful scene, nature link human soul that through me ran. We always, particularly the nature poet, always think that nature is their life, and just if you can go to the park or somewhere, look at the nature, how do you feel? You started feel relaxed, and you started feel very serene, calm, so that the nature work in the nature link human soul. But and much grieved my heart to think what as, even though he was not satisfied on that, even though he was not satisfied on those nature work, because it is also grieve means, sad, the sad thoughts to his heart to think what man has made of man. Whenever he looks nature, he started feeling worse, he started feeling sad because of humanity, because of man only. Now the third stanza. Through primrose tufts in that sweet bower, the periwinkle trailed its wreaths, and it is my faith that every flower enjoys the air it breathes. Such a beautiful thought, how human we enjoy ourselves, we enjoy our humanity. Likewise, we enjoy our life as it is. The nature also enjoys their air it breathes. So why we want to destroy them? So in the third stanza, he observes nature and its peak, it's a top, all its splendor and beauty. He tells about its dynamic development when he describes how the periwinkle trains its branches, it's a type of plant, branches through the grass. And he also displays is implication on this development of natural events, expressing his desire for the flowers to rejoice at their existence. How we celebrate our life as it is, in every plant, like a primrose tuft, periwinkle, reds, every flower, reds, reds means you can know that arrangements of flowers in the shape of a circle. When somebody is it's passed away, we used to keep their memorial in that flower. So we only killed human, but we also destroy nature for the humans. Why we are doing this two on a time? That was his concept. Seen through primrose tuft. Primrose, what is a primrose? It is a wild plant. You can look at the textbook, it's a page number 86. There is a primrose, yellow flower. This plant in that sweet bower means is a branch. And periwinkle, what is periwinkle? That is also a blue flower. You can see it in the picture, mom. These kind of flowers trailed its reds, all those beautiful flowers who freely lives in the plant. We but what happened, we are cut all the flowers, we pluck all the flowers and making reds. That is only for human, so that is why. And it's my faith that every flower enjoys the air it breathes. So every flowers, every living thing is enjoying. Why you kill is question. Actually, this is what the question from Wordsworth. Why are killing human beings, one human to another human? Then why you're destroying nature? That the destroy nature for humans. See, ultimately it was only made by man only. So the fourth stanza. The birds around me hopped and played. Actually, he was sitting in the woodland, hopped means, jumped and played. Their thoughts I cannot measure. As a human, he cannot measure, he cannot judge what the birds thought and think, why, what they played. But the least motion, but the least, last motion which they made, it seemed thrill of pleasure. Maybe while he is sitting on the woodland, he cannot judge what the other things, what the birds, animals and plant thoughts, but he can at least, the last motion that he can guess, because of the thrill of pleasure those birds were hopping, the hopped and enjoyed, jumped one branch to another branch, other bottom coming down and going up, all those things it was enjoying. But as a human, we cannot judge others thought. But see the fifth stanza. The budding twigs spread out their fan to catch a breezy air. See how it was, it looked like, while we read this line, it chills a heart, right? Those leaves, those leaves in the plant spread, it means started growing only to catch breezy air for the plant. And I must think, do all I can. He only can think that there were a pleasure there. See, it's ultimate pleasure. It was ultimate pleasure to enjoy nature, to look at the nature. That is why. So all the plant grows leaves and boughs and branches only to catch breezy air, only to get the living. It's inhale oxygen to the plants, not to destroy the nature. That is what, and it gives a lot of pleasure. And the last. If this belief from heaven be sent, if this belief means nature, if the nature is heaven, sent from heaven, if such be nature holy plan, what is the nature's holy plan? Have I not reason to lament what man has made of man? So he strongly believes that nature is a heaven, that is, we can feel it on the earth. We cannot see where is heaven, but nature is a heaven. We can see, we can evident. But so the heaven, the nature, the mother nature have all these wealthy profound scenes here. Then why he is lamenting? Because of man only the reason for his lamenting, right? This is what the concept, this is what the poetic lines and stuff in it. Let's see the overall summary. Once again, I'm telling the summary. It was a day in early spring. The poet William Wordsworth sat in a grove. It was then that he heard some sweet music, the music of birds. It was a happy blending of a large, many musical notes like the songs of birds. The whispering, the breeze, the air, the rustling of leaves and murmur of the streams. The poet mind was at rest. He was in pleasant and meditative mood, which is on the state one experience pleasant thought. But those pleasant thoughts brought about the joys, that is kind of pleasures in nature, induce sad thoughts as one thinks of man and his world. Nature is a link the human soul in the poet to nature's fair work. The more joy he saw in nature and more grieved too, as well as he feels how much he feels joy, the same it grieved. It's hard to think what man had made of man. occupying himself with the drudgery of earning and spending. Only man has shut himself to the pleasures of universe offers. Nature is a universe offers to him. As a as a result, he brought he kind of misery and sorrow for himself. Not only that, the poet looked around. He saw the primrose tufts, a kind of flower. He watched the periwinkle trailings. It's make it round shape for the red in a sweet bowen. The flowers were pleasant, joyful. The poet strongly believed that every flower enjoyed the air it breathed. The poet around him hopped, some kind of the birds around him hopped and played. The poet could not measure their thoughts since he is a human. He could not know what made them playful, joyous, but he could see they were ecstatic, very happy. Every motion they made seemed the thrill of pleasure, the joy sight of flowers, the birds and twigs along with 1,000 blended notes. That is the different kinds of birds. That is 1,000 blended means joined. Made the poet think they were pleasured there. And one more thing. The poet mind is caught between his mood, fluctuate between nature and the human world. Nature is all joy, all pleasure. The human world is full of sorrows. That is what is concept. Man is a part of nature. He ought to have been a part of nature's holy plan. He must have, protect nature, safeguard nature. But the poet here laments how man is, he is serving himself for nature's holy plan. He has brought about miseries and disasters upon himself. That is what, see, as a nature is it's a heaven, it's a holy plan. We must protect them, but instead of we are exploiting and destroy, we destroyed our nature. So this is what the concept. I read the poetic lines once again, and such a beautiful poem. So here I'll send you appreciation questions, ERC and paragraph answer. So copy down in your assignment note. Just be ready for the next December monthly exam. It will be portion for you. So once again I'm telling, read the poetic lines once again, learn about Wordsworth, that is about the author, page number 86, and once again appreciation questions, ERC, and also paragraph answers I'll send you. Copy down and get ready for the exam. Thank you children. Study well.